Children, glad to meet you again in this video. We are learning about Unit 1 Geography, India Location, Relief and Drainage. Already saw about India's land and water frontiers, location and extent. Then major physiographic divisions of India, that we already learned the northern mountains, the great northern plains. Today we will see the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, the islands. Okay, first one, the peninsular plateaus. The plateau region lies to the south of the Great Northern Plains. This is the largest physiographic division of our country. It covers an area about 16 lakh square kilometer. It is an old rocky plateau region. Aravalli Hills mark the northwestern boundary of the plateau region. Its northern and northeastern boundaries are marked by the Bundelkhand upland, Kaimur and Rajmahal hills. The western gates, this is western gates, this is eastern gates, already you know about that. Western gates and the eastern gates mark the western and eastern boundaries respectively. The peak of Anaimudi can see here. The peak of Anaimudi is the highest point in the plateau. Its height is 2695 meter and is located in Anaimalai. The river Narmada divides the plateau region of India broadly into two parts. You see, here we know Narmada Tabdi is here. This is divided into two parts. North side Central Highlands. The region lying to the north of the Narmada is called Central Highland. Then the region lying to the south of the Narmada is called the Deccan Plateau. All the major rivers lying to the south of the Vindhyas flow eastwards and fall into the Bay of Bengal. Where is it, Bay of Bengal? This is Bay of Bengal. Narmada and Tapti are the two rivers situated to the south of the Vindhyas flow westward. Their movement towards west is due to the presence of a rift valley in the region. Okay, let me go through each heading. Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. Central Highland. The Central Highlands extend between the river Narmada and the northern Great Plains. The Aravallis from the west and northwestern edge of the Central Highlands. These hills extend from Gujarat through Rajasthan to Delhi in the northwesterly direction for a distance of about 700 km. The height of these hills is about 1500 meter in southwest, while near Delhi the highest hardly 400 meter. Guru Shikhar with 1722 meter is the highest peak of this range. The western part of the Central Highland is known as the Malwa Plateau. The part of the Central Highlands which extends to the east of Malwa Plateau is known as Bundelkhand, and its further extension is known as Bagalkhand. The eastern part of the Central Highlands, which lies in the northeastern part of the Indian Plateau, is known as Chota Nagpur Plateau. We will see about that places in the map another one video. Then Deccan Plateau. This physiographic division is the largest part of the plateau region of India. The shape of this plateau is roughly triangular, One of the sides of this triangle is marked by the line joining Kanyakumari with Rajmahal Hills, and the line passes through the eastern gates. The second arm is marked by the Satpura Range, Mahadev Hills, Maigal Range and the Rajmahal Hills. The third arm is marked by the western gates. The area of this plateau is about 7 lakh square kilometer and the height ranges from 500 to 1000 meter above sea level. Okay. Here we will see about the western gates and the eastern gates. Western gates. Western Ghats forms the western edge of the peninsular plateau. It runs parallel to the Arabian Sea coast. The northern part of this range is called Sahyadris. These are continuous mountain ranges. Anaimudi is a sort of tri-junction of the Anaimalai range, the Cardamom Hills and the Palani Hills. Eastern Ghats run from southwest to northeast form the eastern edge of the plateau. This range is also called as Purvadri. The eastern gates join the western gates at the Nilagiri Hills bordering Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The eastern gates are not continuous like the western gates. It's run parallel to the Bay of Bengal coast. Next one, the Indian Desert. The Thar Desert, also known as the Great Indian Desert, is a large arid region in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent that covers an area of 2 lakh kilometers square and forms a natural boundary between India and Pakistan. It is the world's 7th largest desert and world's 9th largest subtropical desert, located in western part of the India. It lies in the western part of Aravalli range and covers 2/3 of Rajasthan state. Okay, then the coastal plains. The peninsular plateau of India is flanked by narrow coastal plains of varied width from north to south. They were formed by the depositional action of the rivers and the erosional and depositional action of the sea waves. The Indian coastal plains are divided into the following two divisions. What is that? Western coastal plains and eastern coastal plains. You can see here, this is the western coastal plain, this is eastern coastal plains. Now we will see about the western coastal plains. It lies between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. You can see here, this is Western Ghats, you know already. This is Western Ghats. Here Arabian Sea. So between have western coastal plains. Okay. It lies between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. It extends from Rann of Kutch in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. Here have Rann of Kutch, here Rann of Kutch, here Kanyakumari. So extend from Rann of Kutch in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. The northern part of the western coastal plain is known as Konkan Plain. The middle part of this plain is known as Kanara. The southern part of the plain is known as Malabar coast. Vembanad is a famous backwater lake found in this region. What is backwaters? Backwaters is nothing but the part of a river which are stagnant and do not reach the sea as they are pushed by the current. That is backwater. Okay, now we will see about the eastern coastal plains. Okay, it lies between the eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal and stretches along the states of West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. The coastal plain between Mahanadi and Krishna river is known as the northern circus, and the southern part lies between Krishna and Kaveri river is called Coromandel coast. The Marina Beach on this coast in Chennai, and it is the second longest beach in the world. Among the backwater lakes of this coast, Lake Silca is the largest lake in India, located to the southwest of the Mahanadi Delta. Next one, Kolluru Lake, which lies between the deltas of Godavari and Krishna, and the Pulicat Lake. This lies in the border of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Okay, next one we will see about the islands. India has two major island groups, namely Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep. You see here, this side Andaman and Nicobar, here under, here Lakshadweep. Okay. The former group consists of 572 islands and are located in Bay of Bengal, and the later one has 27 islands or located in Arabian Sea. In the Arabian Sea, Lakshadweep, in the Bay of Bengal, we can see the Andaman and Nicobar Island. India's only active volcano is found on Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar group of islands, while the islands of the Arabian Sea are mainly coral origin. Okay, now we will see about the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These islands are located in an elevated portion of the submarine mountains. Since these islands lie close to the equator, the climate remains hot and wet throughout the year and has dense forest. The area of the island group is about 8,249 square kilometer. The entire group of islands is divided into two. They are Andaman in the north and the Nicobar in the south. Port Blair is the administrative capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The 10-degree channel separates Andaman from Nicobar group. The southernmost tip, the Indra Point, is a part of Nicobar Island. Next one, Lakshadweep Island. This is a small group of coral islands located off the west coast of India. It covers an area of 32 square kilometer. Kavaratti is its administrative capital. These islands are separated from the Maldives Islands by the 8-degree channel. There we saw 10-degree channel, Andaman and Nicobar. Here 8-degree channel, Maldives. Okay, by the 8-degree channel. The uninhabited Pit Island, that is uninhabited, is nothing but cannot live here. Pit Islands of this group has a bird sanctuary. Earlier it had 3 divisions, namely Lakadiv, Minikoi and Amindivi. It was named as Lakshadweep in 1973. Offshore islands. Besides the 2 groups of islands, India has a number of islands along the western coast, eastern coast, in the delta region of Ganga and in the Gulf of Mannar. Many of these islands are uninhabited. Already I told what is uninhabited, and are administered by the adjacent states. We will see about drainage system of India. Okay. A drainage system is an integrated system of tributaries and a trunk stream which collects and drains surface water into the sea, lake or some other body of water. The total area drained by a river and its tributaries is known as a drainage basin. The river system provides irrigation, drinking water, navigation, power, as well as grant livelihoods for a large number of population. The drainage system of India is broadly divided into 2 major groups on the basis of their location. They are Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Okay, now we will see about the What is Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers? Okay. What is Himalayan rivers? These rivers are found in North India and originate from the Himalayas. So they are also called as Himalayan rivers. They flow in North India. They are long and wide. They are perennial in nature. It's useful for irrigation and navigation. Their middle and lower courses are navigable. The snow-covered Himalayan glacier is a good source for continuous water and the rivers are perennial. Okay, what is perennial? North Indian rivers are perennial because they originate from the snow-covered. The land area covered with ocean on 3 sides. Sorry, this is peninsula. Perennial rivers, the rivers which flow throughout the year and have permanent sources of water. That is perennial rivers. Then we will see about three rivers under Himalayan rivers. What is it? Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. Indus River. First one, the Indus River system. The Indus River is one of the largest rivers of the world. It originates from the northern slope of the Kailas range. The river runs through Jammu and Kashmir, turns south near Chillar and enters Pakistan. Its major tributaries are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Bias. It enters into with the Arabian Sea. What is tributaries and distributaries? Tributary means a river or stream which contributes its water to main river. Distributary means a branch or outlet which leaves the main river and does not rejoin it, carrying its water to the sea or lake. Okay. Then next one, Ganga River system. The Ganga River system is the largest drainage system of India. The Ganga plain is the most densely populated place in India. The river Ganga originates as Bhagirathi from the Gangotri glacier. Its major tributaries from the north are Gomti, Gandak, Kosi and Gangra, and from south Yamuna, Son, Chambal, etc. The river Ganga is known as the river Batma in Bangladesh. Next one, the Brahmaputra river system. The river Brahmaputra originates from the Chimayungdang glacier of the Kailas range to the east of Lake Manasarovar. The river is called as Jamuna in Bangladesh. After it joins with the river Ganga in Bangladesh, the river is called as Meghna. Okay, now we will see about the characteristics of Himalayan rivers. Originate from Himalayas, long and wide, perennial in nature, unsuitable for hydropower generation, middle and lower courses are navigable. Okay, then next one, peninsular rivers. Already I told what is peninsular rivers. The river in South India are called the peninsular rivers. Most of these rivers originate from the Western Ghats. These are seasonal rivers, that is non-perennial rivers. Based on the direction of flow, the peninsular rivers are divided into the west flowing and east flowing rivers. Why North Indian rivers are perennial? North Indian rivers are perennial because they originate from the snow-covered Himalayas. Already I told, the snow-covered Himalayan glacier is a good source for continuous water and the rivers are perennial. Okay, I told based on the direction of flow, the peninsular rivers are divided into east flowing rivers and west flowing rivers. Okay, first one, under this heading, under the east flowing rivers, what is it? Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. First one, Mahanadi. It's originate from Shihava. Its end to Bay of Bengal. Its tributary is Shionath, Chilan, Sandur and Ib. Distributary rivers Birupa, Chittarchala, Genkuti and Nan. The states benefited are Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. Next one, Godavari. Godavari is the longest river among the peninsular rivers. It is also called Virda Ganga. Why river is often referred as Virda Ganga? That is, river Godavari is often referred as Virda Ganga due to its large size and extent among the peninsular rivers. It is the longest river with an area of 3.13 lakh kilometers square among the peninsular rivers. It flows through the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh before joining Bay of Bengal. Purna, Penganga, Pranita, Indravati, Tal and Salami are its major tributaries. Distributaries Vasistha and Gautami. Already I told the benefited states are Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, next one, Krishna. The Krishna river originates from a spring at a place called Mahabaleshwar in the western gates of Maharashtra. It is the second longest peninsular river. Bhima, Peddavagu, Musi, Koina and Tungabhadra are the major tributaries of this river. It also flows through Andhra Pradesh and joins in Bay of Bengal at Hamasala Devi. Next one, Kaveri. The Kaveri originates at Talakaveri, Kudagu hills of Karnataka. The Kaveri is called Dakshin Ganga or Ganga of South. Karangi, Hemavati, Kabini, Bhavani, Arkavadi, Noyal, Amravati, etc. are the main tributaries of the river Kaveri. In Karnataka, the river bifurcates twice, forming the sacred island of Srirangapatnam and Sivasamudram. While entering Tamil Nadu, the Kaveri continues through a series of twisted wild gorges until it reaches Hogganekal Falls and flows through a straight, narrow gorge near Salem. The Kaveri breaks at Srirangam Island with two channels, River Koldrun and Kaveri. At last, it empties into the Bay of Bengal at Pumbuhar. Next one, we will see about the west flowing river. What is it, west flowing river? Narmada and Tapti. Narmada, it's originate from American Plateau in Madhya Pradesh, end to Arabian Sea. This tributary river Bannar, Halon, Keron, Banjar, Duhi, Shakar, Tawa, Barna and Kolar. Benefited places Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Last one is Tapti. Originates from Bitul near Multai in the district of Madhya Pradesh, into Arabian Sea. Tributaries Vagi, Gomai, Arunavati, Anir, Nesu, Bure, Panchra and Bori. Benefited places are Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. Okay, we recall it again what we saw about here. India has been physiographically divided into 5 divisions. They are Northern Mountains, Northern Great Plains, Plateau region, Coastal Plains and Islands. Next, Northern Mountains are classified into 3 divisions of as Trans-Himalayas, Himalayas, Eastern Himalayas. Northern Great Plains are divided into 4. That is Rajasthan Plains, Punjab and Haryana Plains, Gangetic Plains and Brahmaputra Plains. It will see in another one video. The next one, the plateau region of India has two divisions, namely the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. Then islands, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep are two major islands groups of India. Then last one we see about the drainage system of India is classified into the North Indian and Peninsular rivers. The Indus river system, the Ganga river system and the Brahmaputra river system had made the agricultural lands of North India as fertile, and these rivers are perennial in nature. Narmada, Tapti, Maghi, Sabarmati river confluence with the Arabian Sea. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri are the major east flowing rivers and drain into the Bay of Bengal. We saw about this one also, backwaters. What is backwaters? The part of a river which are stagnant and do not reach the sea as they are pushed by the current. What is distributary? A branch or outlet which leaves a main river and does not rejoin it, carrying its water to the sea or a lake. What is doab? A land between the two converging rivers. Estuary, mouth of a river where it enters the sea through a single channel with a hollow. What is perennial rivers? The rivers which flow throughout the year and have permanent source of water. Pass. What is pass? A narrow gap through the mountains providing a route or passageway. What is peninsula? The land area covered with ocean on three sides. What is subcontinent? A large of a continent that stands distinct from the rest of the continent and possesses almost all the characteristics of a continent. Okay, what is standard time? The local time of central meridian of one's country. What is tributary? A river or stream which contributes its water to main river. Okay, we saw about history lesson 1 and geography lesson 1 also finished. We will see next video in civics first lesson. Okay, I will give the homework. You do properly, learn properly also. Don't waste your time. Thank you, ma.